Would I call the member for Solomon?
Thank you, Mr Deputy Speaker. I rise to speak on the matter of public importance, that being the impact of the record number of people illegally entering Australia by boat under this government. The boats keep coming, and that's why, again, I have to speak about the Gillard Labor government's absolute failure to protect our nation by efficiently protecting our borders and our immigration program, Mr Deputy Speaker. It's clear to all that the Gillard Labor government has lost control of our borders, and the people smugglers are jumping for joy because they still have a product to sell and will do that at any cost. Australians know that it's the Gillard Labor government that undid the border protection policies introduced by the Howard government. And as I've said in this place before, it doesn't surprise me to hear very concerning reports that the people smugglers are racing to fill their boats before September 14. And we all know why. And that is because the Gillard Labor government has the welcome mat out, and that will be laid out until then. With the election date fast approaching, with a possible change of government, the people smugglers are doing all they can to fill their boats as fast as they can. The Gillard Labor government is implicit in this because they removed the border protection policies that have been proven to work. The people smugglers know that the coalition will stop the boats. We are seeing evidence that Labor's border protection failures continue day after day. So much so that the people smugglers are looking for any chink in the armour after the Gillard Labor government's cuts have left our hard-working border protection service overworked and understaffed for the increasing amounts of boat arrivals. What we can infer from the recent influx of boat arrivals approaching the top end of Australia is that the recent people smuggler boats have been targeting the mainland of Australia in a bid to exploit the legal loophole that would exclude them from being sent offshore for processing. Now, let's all remember that it's the Gillard Labor government that has been messing around with this excision bill, and it failed to get it to pass through the Senate while they were too busy pushing through their media reform bills. It's the Gillard Labor government foolishly pursued their media reform bills instead of passing legislation to excise the mainland of Australia. This just meant that the people smugglers can continue to sell their product to get to the Australian mainland so their clients can avoid being processed offshore. Many people in my electorate tell me that they are tired of the Gillard Labor government wasting money when Darwin and Palmerston, like so many other jurisdictions across the country, are in desperate need of funding for improvements in health, education, community safety, housing and childcare. So after almost 6 years at their disposal, the Gillard Labor government hasn't and will not stop the boats. They can't. We are seeing record numbers of arrivals. The Northern Territory News reported last week that the number of illegal arrivals by boat had hit 40,000. The Northern Territory News also reported the disgusting conditions people smugglers are inflicting on their clients. So let's just look at how many arrivals have been intercepted off the shores of Darwin this year alone. On the 1st of January, HMAS Armidale intercepted a boat west of Darwin carrying 43 people. On the 28th of February, HMAS Launceston intercepted a boat north-northwest of Darwin carrying 33 people. On the 20th of March, HMAS Peary intercepted a boat west-northwest of Darwin carrying 78 people. On the 24th of March, HMAS Peary again intercepted a boat northwest of Darwin carrying 41 people. On the 27th of March, HMAS Peary again intercepted a boat southwest of Darwin carrying 147 people. On the 3rd of April, HMAS Bundaberg intercepted a boat northwest of Darwin carrying 41 people. On the 9th of April, HMAS Arat intercepted a boat northwest of Darwin carrying 73 people. On the 17th of April, HMAS Childers intercepted a boat west-southwest of Darwin carrying 78 people. On the 21st of April, HMAS Maryborough intercepted a boat northwest of Darwin carrying 67 people. On the 23rd of April, ACV Ocean Protector intercepted a boat north-northeast of Darwin carrying 65 people. On the 26th of April, HMAS Maitland intercepted a boat west-northwest of Darwin carrying 75 people. On the 3rd of May, HMAS Albany intercepted a boat west-northwest of Darwin carrying 160 people. On the 4th of May, ACV Botany Bay MV-OMS Endurance intercepted a boat northwest of Darwin carrying 105 people. That's 13 boats targeted for Darwin carrying 1,006 people. Clearly, there is a new approach to the people smugglers, and they're targeting the top end. It's 1,000 extra people putting pressure on our services in the top end, where our services are already under pressure and completely thin on the ground. So let's just look at the track record for all of the arrivals. 288 boats and 18,255 people have arrived in Australia since August 14 last year. This was when the Gillard Labor government agreed to open Nauru as an offshore processing centre. This was their big deterrent. Well, clearly that hasn't worked either. Since the last federal election, there have been 673 boats and 40,772 people arrive illegally on our shores. What a great track record. They should be so proud. Now let's look at the costs, Mr Deputy Speaker, over $5 billion. And as I've said in this place before, I can only imagine what I could do in Solomon with $5 billion. Now $5 billion would go a long way towards the NDIS too, wouldn't it? But clearly we've spent it on different things. $5 billion it would be able to fund a desperately needed hospital in Palmerston. It would be able to fund new police to improve community safety, perhaps a new school for our ever-increasing population, affordable housing for Territorians who are being forced into homelessness every day due to the housing crisis, improvements to our roads to combat the ever-increasing traffic due to our population growth. No wonder the people of my electorate are fed up with the Gillard Labor government and its failed border protection policies that give the people smugglers a product to sell. People in my electorate know very well that every dollar spent on combating people smugglers is a dollar not spent in our community. Darwin has become the Gillard Labor government's frontline failure for border protection policies. Our detention centres are full, and the Prime Minister was in Darwin last weekend when 18 detainees escaped from our detention centre. She knows firsthand how her border protection policies have failed and have impacting significantly on my electorate, because the boats continue to arrive to the point where families and children are now being transferred to detention centres that were previously used for males. And after the Gillard Labor government promised children would be removed from formal detention and removed from being behind barbed wire, they are now being relocated to a site previously only suitable for males in detention, another Labor broken promise. Well, Mr Deputy Speaker, there is a different way. The Coalition does have a plan, an alternative to mitigate the disastrous impact that the Gillard Labor government has had on border protection. We've stopped the boats before and we'll do it again. The Coalition will restore what the Labor Party abandoned, a strong border protection regime developed by the Coalition as a priority to protect our nation's borders. The Coalition will reintroduce offshore processing of illegal boat arrivals as part of a series of measures to stop the boats and protect our borders. We will prevent this problem by minimising the numbers coming from both initial countries of origin and first asylum countries. We will disrupt the business of people smuggling and intercept the boats where safe to do so. We will make it a priority to identify and assist those in genuine need of refugee protection as early as possible. We've done it before, Mr Deputy Speaker, and we'll do it again. The Howard government successfully reduced the flood of illegal arrivals to a mere trickle. Between 2002 and 2007, 10 illegal entry boats arrived with fewer than 250 passengers. Compare this with over 400 boats and 25,000 people arriving illegally since the last federal election. It's fair to say Labor's management of this issue has been a disaster. The boats must be stopped. There is no argument that people smuggling is not a good result for anyone. It's unsafe for asylum seekers, and every year people die from taking this risk. Stopping the boats is a priority in my electorate, and given the opportunity, the Coalition has made it a priority to fix this disaster and the legacy of the Gillard-led Labor government.